Carlos Michael Thomas, and the speech from the Minister, Minister Kosazana Daminisoma. So this briefing, we will be taking the questions directly from the media, and the Minister and the Resident Coordinator, the DG, MEC Marta and the Mayor can add points that they would like to put across to the public in terms of the purpose of this momentous occasion. Without wasting any further time, colleagues, I will then ask the members of the media that do have a question for any of the leaders that are on the table to please just raise your hand so that I can give you the mic. And as you ask your question, I ask you to please introduce yourself and the media house that you represent.
Warm greetings. Thank you for your time. My name is Arturo Jogan. I'm from the SAPC. My question is to Thomas first. What informed your decision to partner with Watertown, and maybe how much money was invested in this? And secondly, this is an environment, a very delicate municipality which has been involved and riddled with corruption claims. The SIU is busy investigating a 1.4 billion irregular expenditure. Just 2 weeks back, there was a member, an accountant, who was also convicted of corruption charges. There's also corruption claims which happened during the COVID-19 period. How are you going to make sure that you safeguard what you invested in, especially during this time? So that is my question. Thank you. Yes.
To who? To the mayor? To who? The question is to who?
It didn't clarify who it's to. I think it's to the MEC and to the mayor. Yes. The next question.
How did the decision for them to choose the second question?
How are they going to safeguard?
Noted, thank you very much. Please give me the mic. We have a second question.
Greetings, so yes, Basakwaza from PC News. I would like to ask, I know you did say it, but you found did not get a good shot. If you can just summarize, how will this partnership help with this to the minister?
Thank you very much. We have the third question.
Thank you.
You mentioned something about the program that is doing it to some centers to the just briefly tell us more about those, what will be done there, what will the purpose arrive.
Thank you very much. I think that's it for this round of questions. So what we'll do is we'll ask Ms. Michael Thomas to just give us a response on what made them the UN or to choose this location as a pilot for this. We'll shift.
Thank you very much. I think this question is a very simple question because, the UN, is supporting the government, and the plan of the UN is not its plan, it's the plan of the government. And therefore, the choice was made by COCTA, and we had to really adhere to the choices made. And from the explanation and, from what we know, it's based on the level of poverty. So given the agenda of leaving no one behind, we're going to those that are furthest, away from development. So, to just bring them a little bit, at par with others. Therefore, choices are the choices of the government. Our plans are just a support plan to the plan of the government. We don't have any plan. It's government's plan that we implement and support.
And there was also a question for you, Minister, if you can respond to that one?
Thank you. Thank you very much. First, I think we should remember that OR district is a pilot to pilot the district development model. And that's why the president came here to launch the pilot. And so the UN is also following that. And that's why they're saying they didn't choose. They just came, that's why we mentioned 3 districts. The OR district, Waterberg, and the Tebwili, because those were the 3 pilots. Of course, OR will benefit a lot from this. One, because, as was said, OR is amongst the 10 poorest districts, but it's a highly populated district. It's a rich agricultural area, it's an ocean coastal district. But the skills base is very low here. So we think that it's important to have partnerships to assist the people of OR, not the councillors, it's for the people of the district. They are the ones who should benefit from this. The councillors, like all of us, are servants of the people. So this will assist the people, the skills, the business, the agriculture, the Tusong centers, the Tutuzela centers, trade. Everything that will be done here is to really benefit the people. Of course, the UN is not going to take its money and give it to the council and go to Pretoria. They are going to be part of the implementation. They will spend the money themselves in the district. But also, I think I'll also give the MEC, because it's true that this municipality is very beleaguered. It's not as stable as we would like it to be. Maybe the mayor will also say something on that. It's not as stable as we would like it to be, but we should not visit the problems of the council and the municipality to the people. We must still support and give the services, the support, the development for the people. The municipal problems will be sorted. If there is corruption, corruption must be dealt with, and the law must take its course. The province is trying to support the district. So I think the MEC will say a bit more about the support they are trying to give to the district to try and get it to be a bit more stable. So all of us are interested, but more to the people who live here.
Thank you for that, response. Maybe the MEC and then the mayor can respond to the rest of the question.
Yeah, thank you for the questions, and thanks for allowing Minister. The province, as you may be aware, ladies and gentlemen, that the province did evoke Section 154 as requested by the district to provide support, which we sent an acting municipal manager and other 3 officials to provide that support as part of a contribution to stabilize the municipality, particularly in areas supporting on areas like finance, corporate services and infrastructure. And that 154 support, it expired And the view of the province is to extend that support. And you'll know that as we seek to rebuild and renew public institutions under the renewal project as led by the president, there will be challenges, there will be pushbacks. And it is the determination of the province to deal with that. And the Premier requested the President to sign and issue a proclamation for SIU investigation, which was done. And 2 officials have since been arrested as a result of that investigation. And the reports are to be tabled to council, and the council itself did conduct its own investigation, and those reports will be tabled to council so that there are consequences for wrongdoing. And it is therefore the determination, as I've said in my remarks there, that those who are part of the political leadership will represent a stumbling block for the success of this pilot. The ruling party has to resolve those issues, and they have since taken certain decisions so that they resolve those issues. Because the position of government, which is the position myself and the minister share, is that government will not resolve political problems. The political party, which is the ruling party, must deal with the political problems. They have taken decisions and the processes are underway, so that those then few individuals who pose a stumbling block to this important project are put through due processes. That's all I can say to say, yes, indeed, there are these challenges of instability, but they are not insurmountable, and we're already on course to deal with those issues, and that nothing will stand on our way to ensure that we use this opportunity, which is a rare opportunity, that comes once in a lifetime, where the UN, through the leadership of the minister, our district in the Eastern Cape, which is OR Tambo, is chosen as to be among the districts. And, it's an opportunity that we intend using to the full. That's what I can say in relating to these matters. Okay.
Thank you very much. I think the minister, together with the NEC, they've talked about Okantambo in the situation that it has found itself in. But having this pilot as OR Tambo and fighting corruption, because we are rooting out corruption whenever it appears its ugly head. That's why I was saying that with the United Nations, the support that is being brought here through the DDM, through the minister, we are going to make all ends that it succeed. That's why we are reporting each and every corrupt tendency that we see. AG is there, the SIU, everybody that is investigating, but all the reports must be tabled to council. That's why we are saying that as the council, together as the municipality, we've gone around reporting to the people all what is happening. So the money from the United Nations cannot be used for any other thing apart from what it is intended for. That's why for COVID-19, all our COVID-19, we've taken it to the SIU, all the COVID-19 expenditure. And all the corrupt cases, we have reported them so that they are investigated. And if a person is found to have done a corrupt act, the rule of law must take its course. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Mayor. I'll just check with the colleagues from the media if we can take a second round of questions, and I'll give, let me start with I've noted you. I'll start with the other colleagues that haven't asked questions yet. And there are none. Over to you.
Okay. Still to Ms. Thomas, we didn't get clarity on the figure of the amount that you are to invest in this municipality. And also to the Minister, the development district model has been launched for over a year now. How happy are you, and what are some of the legacies of that district development model? Because we see this municipality is still dysfunctional. There's still a lot of service delivery issues pertaining to lack of water which is supplied to the people, and other service delivery concerns that are there. What are some of the legacies of this district development model, and are you happy so far? If you can explain on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we have two questions. One question for the minister and the other one for the resident coordinator. And follow up on that. And can I please request, as the minister, this is the last round of questions, as the minister responds and as the resident coordinator responds, can you just give us your words, your message to the people of OR Tambo on the purpose of this visit and how it will benefit them? And I thank you very much for that. With the resident coordinator.
Thank you very much. We are at the initial stage of the development of the program, as you know. It's going to cover the 3 districts, OR Tambo, eThekwini, and Waterberg. And the initial amount that has been cited as, actually estimated amount is 5 million over the 5 years, but this could be increased based on the mobilization of resources. We are going to mobilize resources as we go on, together with the district and together with COCTA. So, it will be increasing over time, but the initial estimated figure for the 3 districts over the 5 years is 5 million that we have put aside. Yeah. This project is a very catalytic project. And as we said earlier on, the district and COCTA have identified 3 sort of locomotives and delivering mechanisms, where not only the UN assistance, but also other assistances could come in a very coordinated manner. The Business Solutions Center, like the Minister explained earlier on, is really a center that is supposed to build the skills, especially women and youth, in terms of enterprise development, entrepreneurship development, so that the natural resources are translated in terms of wealth, and they benefit the people, and the number of stakeholders in the economy expands. And this is the whole objective. And what it does is it creates the value chain around the growth pillars, so that the youth participate with their skills and bring the resources, their human, intellectual, technical, technological capacities, and they make their businesses around the value chain. So that the minister really clearly articulated her vision in her speech, and that is one of the things. The second one is the Tusong Center. I would like to say this thing. When I was in Kenya in 2004, 2005, actually in 2006, because public service delivery was a problem in Kenya, I came here to South Africa to look at the Tusong model. Came here and saw that was the time when Tusong Center was really flourishing here and was a demand-driven center and not a supply-driven center where the government wants to, whatever services it wants it puts, but it was the people-driven. So I came here, took, this country's Tusong Center as a best experience, best example, and we used it and we put it in Kenya. And the Huduma Center today in Kenya is bigger than what you see here in terms of the services that it gives. So coming back to me, to South Africa, to see the Tusong Center, really, the way it is now. In some aspects, I mean, in some places, I went to Mamelodi, I went to Alex to see it. It's not what it used to be. So we would like the people to say these are the services we want, and then for the services to come to them. So it's going to be a demand driven, and this is what the district also wants us to do, reinvigorate, help them to support them to reinvigorate the Tusong Center, and the same with the Tutusela centers. And the Tutusela Center, rather than being the care, the reactive mode, maybe like the minister said, to make it also on the preventive mode. So that as we go on, once we eliminate the cases, then, it will be like turned into a preventive mode so that no more there would be, GBVF in the country. So these are things that are being taught, discussed. We are going to spend 3 days with the district authorities and with the stakeholders to refine the thinking. Like I said, it's not going to be what the UN wants, it's what the people want that is going to be implemented in these programs. Thank you very much.
I thank you very much for the question about the DDM. I think we must just first unpack what it is. Because when you say what is the legacy, the DDM was launched the second half of 2019. 2020, we had a lot of COVID, which we used the district development to coordinate. But let me say that it is a way of working. The district development model is a way of working. It's not a project. It's the way government and the people must work. The national governments working together with the province, working together with the district and the locals. But not only that, as you may recall that when we came, we also said there must be district forums. The district forums have representatives of different stakeholders, whether it's traditional leaders are part of it, they are part of the municipality, but they are also part of the stakeholders. The religious civic organizations, women's organizations, youth organizations, private sector, because as the mayor said, all hands must be on deck at the district. But one of the problems that we are facing, especially in rural districts and locals, is that they sometimes are unable to attract professional skills that are so essential for them delivering the services. For instance, to plan for infrastructure projects, you need certain expertise. You need planners, you need engineers, you need financial people, you need all sorts of people. But some of the local municipalities, or even some districts, don't have the capacity to attract because they don't pay very well, and so experienced people want to go in the cities. So one of the things that we're trying to do is to ensure that in every district, those professionals are there, even if they are shared by the local municipalities, but they exist. And so one of the things that we are doing is to provide those kind of engineering services and planning services. But of course, you are correct that there's still lots of challenges in terms of service delivery. There are. OR is not an exception, but we're at OR now. We must talk about those. what the government has done, OR is going to receive over the MTF for the next 3 years, 2.9 billion rands for as a municipal infrastructure grant. So they have to build roads. We are also saying that because water is such a problem, that the municipal infrastructure grant must also be utilized to provide water. So as far as I know, these 2.9 billion, there are also 19 water projects. Now, you know, there are big water projects that Water Affairs does, dams and all that. But in the short term, because to build a dam takes long and takes billions. So we're also saying, we had a meeting with the Water Commission to look at the groundwater. How can we utilize groundwater in the meantime to deliver water services? So boreholes, springs, whilst we are waiting for the big dams. So that work is going on. There are going to be 19 water projects, 12 sanitation projects, 47 road projects, particularly the access roads. And there will be 12 community projects to the value of 173 million, which will include some of the secondary bulk water to Mkandule and various other water treatment works. So there are some resources that have been put, and that's why I was stressing the skills, because then you can have money if there is no skill to utilize the money and utilize it properly, then it would be a problem. So yes, in the district there must be a hub where you can find these skills and then dispatch them to various municipalities. But the private sector is also part of being on board. In Waterberg, for instance, the business people have come on board. They are going to come here as well to look at how they can help in agriculture. Of course, in Waterberg, they are looking at also mining. They are looking at ICT as part of participating in the district to improve the lives of our people. So I wouldn't really know how to answer when you say the legacy of the DDM, but I assume that you want to know what the DDM is doing, and these are some of the things. And of course, the Tutuzela centers are important because you know in OR, gender-based violence is quite high, unfortunately. So we do need to pay attention to those things. The police are supposed to build a laboratory so that the tests, the forensic tests, like after rape and all those things, should not always be sent to other places. They can be done locally, but that will also be a contribution towards the dealing with the gender-based violence and ensuring that rape cases can be taken to court with the forensic evidence, and those perpetrators can be then face the law. There is also there has to be a educational institution, maybe training center in Lusikisiki. There are, at the moment, it's being used as offices of government. So the province must take out those people, make sure that they have offices, because that used to be a training center And I don't know at what point it was turned into offices. But as my sister here from the UN says, things must be demand-driven. So when we went there, the people demanded that they want that place to go back to being a training center. So that now has to happen. The N2, which is a very important artery for transport, linking OR with KZN, with Buffalo City and other, is those bridges. You remember maybe last year, November or so, we went to see one of the bridges that is being built, one of the big bridges that is happening there on the N2. So there is lots that is happening. But as I say, the DDM is only a year old, but that year is almost the lost year because there were lockdowns with COVID. But we were there in November or October in Lusikisiki with the MEC and Mayor and others. We also went to Port St. John's. Maybe some of you came, but maybe not. But SAPC, I remember, was there with us. So there is work happening, but it's not the kind of work that will happen overnight. But it's work that will eventually see OR transform into a much more sustainable, a much more livable environment, and an environment where people of OR can work in OR if they choose to. Because a lot of people from OR right now have to go to Gauteng, to other provinces, Northwest, to seek work in the mines, in other places. Even the skilled people from OR tend to gravitate because there isn't much happening that will absorb their skills. They tend to gravitate to bigger cities. But when there are things that need their skills here, they'll come back. So we want to ensure that OR is developed. All the resources that the mayor was talking about, the riches of OR, are developed for the benefit of the people. That's what I can say about the district development model right now. And I just hope that the people of OR will also be inspired and do more and better of what they've been doing. We know some of them have been working in agriculture, some of them you will see sheep around, cattle, and so on. So they are not also sitting and folding their hands. And we have to meet them. And the MEC is reminding me they are planting green gold. So, but there are lots of products that you can get from green gold. So it can be a huge manufacturing, it can create a huge manufacturing industry, producing all sorts of things. So we really, that's what the DDM is about, that all people must come, work together, make the best impact. Because for now, if each department, each province, each municipality is just looking at itself, we work in silos, the impact is not felt. But if we work together, the impact would be felt by the people. So that's my answer to you. Sorry that it's a bit of a long answer, but I thought it was important. Thank you. I took your question very seriously.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ladies and
Was there
gentlemen,
any
that
other
brings us
questions?
to the close of this engagement part of the launch. And with that, we thank the Minister, the MEC, the Resident Coordinator, the Mayor and the DG for taking this time to engage with us. And we thank you as well, the colleagues, for representing the public so well. Thank you very much. The session is closed.
I don't know whose pen this is.